Hey everyone, Gordon here with another Tech Time with Gordon. Today I'm going to be talking about mobile photography tips. So when I'm talking about mobile, I'm talking about tablets or say your phone. So we're going to cover some great photography tips to make sure that the photos that you take on your phone are great. So let's begin. The first thing we're going to talk about is stability. So when I'm talking about stability, generally when we are taking a picture, sometimes we start to shake, which can result in some very blurry pictures. So to avoid all this shaking, what we're going to do is we're going to get into a better standing positions when we take our photos. So the first thing, we're going to stand with our feet shoulder width apart. We're going to hold our phone or device like so. We're not going to hold it with one hand. We're going to have both hands on it, and then we're going to make sure that our elbows are very close to our body, kind of locking us into a position to avoid shaking. And then we're going to look at taking the picture with the volume button instead of trying to capture it with the icon on our screen. So, similar to a normal digital camera, we are going to use the button on the top to capture the picture. Now, if we're not in a standing position or we're trying other things, you can try to look at bracing the phone against something stationary like a fence, a wall, anything that's going to be sturdy. If you have a tripod, and they do make tripods for smaller devices, you can look at using that. We can look at improvising, so, bringing some books along or other objects that can help in regards to keeping stable, because stable will equal better photos. My next tip is on exposure and focus. We can tap on the screen where we want to set our focus. This is going to be indicated by a yellow square. If you look at the picture above, you can see that we have set our focus on the flower. The flower, or our focus point, is going to be a lot sharper and crisper, whereas anything that is behind our focal point will be blurry or focused out. Now, after we have set our focus, we do have the ability to deal or adjust our exposure. What exposure is it basically determines the light levels that our picture is going to have. So if we swipe up with the little indication beside the box, so if we move it up, we are increasing the light levels, so we are going to make our picture a lot brighter. However, if we start moving it down, we are going to get a darker picture. So if we look at the picture on our left, basically that is showing higher light levels or higher exposure. And on our right, the darker picture shows that we are reducing our exposure levels. Next, let's talk about composition. So with composition, we are taking elements of our photo and we are arranging them. One rule that some people will follow is called the rule of thirds. So what we are doing is we are dividing our image evenly into thirds. If you look at the picture above, that's what has been done to it. We are then taking our subject matter and we are looking to place it at our intersections of these dividing lines. So if you look above, you can see that the person has been kind of shifted up into the corner. They're not dead center. And you can do the corner here or over here or down here, but we're not focused, we're not putting our subject matter dead center in the picture. The other thing you could do is using leading lines. So we're taking elements in our photo that's going to draw our eye or draw our attention in a certain direction. So this can be done with kind of a river. You're kind of following that stream, and then it's going to end at a flower or some specific object. This can be done by lines. You're looking at street lines, and they're getting to focusing up on a car. So basically, you're using elements to direct the person's attention to what you want them to focus on. Next, let's talk about using HDR. So what HDR stands for is high dynamic range. Basically, it allows us to capture details in both shadows and highlights. When it is done right, it provides the picture with even contrast, which balances out and can be quite appealing to viewers. For our iPhone, we can set it to automatically take HDR photos whenever we need to by using the Smart HDR feature. This can be done by going to our settings on our home screen, selecting camera, and making sure that Smart HDR is turned on. Now that we've taken all our photos, we can look at processing them. So when I'm talking about processing, I'm meaning doing some minor or major adjustments to our photos. This can be as simple as adjusting the brightness to make them brighter or darker. We can adjust the color to them. We can apply additional effects to give it a cartoony feel. We could do a lot with our photos right after we've taken them. We can do this by using a variety of free apps that are available on our mobile device, such as Snapseed, Adobe Lightroom, Adobe Photoshop Express Editor, Canva, Resizing, InPixio, and InstaSize. These are just some of the amazing programs that you can use to create some amazing pieces of art. That concludes my tips on mobile photography. I hope you have learned some ways to improve your photography skills. Definitely with digital photography, you don't have to worry about missing your shot because you can take as many as you need. You don't have to worry about film. So, take as much as you want. Just make sure that you only keep the ones that you really want and have fun playing around with the programs that I suggested in this video. If you haven't checked out my previous video, check the link above. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel already, please subscribe here. Have a nice day. Bye for now.